Right, welcome back, everybody. Patrick Christys here on GB News Live. Now, Just Stop Oil activists have been arrested after the group hit 4 targets today on their final day of month-long protests. Earlier this morning, 6 of the activists spray-painted orange paint across the Home Office, the MI5 building, the Bank of England and the News UK headquarters at London Bridge. They say the buildings were targeted because they represent the pillars that support and maintain the power of fossil fuel in the economy. Well, joining me now in the studio is Dr. Patrick Hart, who's a spokesperson for Just Stop Oil. He's an activist and a GP as well. Right, thank you very much. So a lot of people will be thinking, is this the end of the monthly protest? Can we just not hear from you for a while now?
Absolutely not, no.
Right.
So, yeah, you're correct, this is the end of the monthly protest, but as we've been saying again and again, we are demanding an end to all new fossil fuel projects, and we now know that the public support us, that the UN support us, that anyone with any sense supports us.
Does the public support you?
Absolutely, yeah. So
what basis have you got for that?
So there was a recent poll done which showed that 66% of the UK public support direct action, such as what we do, on the cause of the...
But direct action could be just doing things like we'd agreed at COP26, actual action when it comes to limiting things like fossil fuel use or banning fracking things like that.
I think you're misunderstanding what direct action means. That means direct action as in activism, as in civil resistance against the government. This is the question that was asked, and people are in support of it. Do
they support this exact stuff? Because there's a lot of very, very angry people shouting at you on the streets, and certainly most people who I talk to think, frankly, it's a waste of time and you should all go home.
So, again, I think you're inaccurate in what you're saying. Every time we do a action, we see that people are out, a few people are out showing that they don't agree with what we're doing. But actually, a huge number of people do come up to us and say, well done for what you're doing.
You're a GP.
Emails. We have emails coming in saying, thank you for what you're doing, all the time.
I get all of that. I mean, I get emails like this one right now in front of me from Philip saying that you should be sent to jail. A lot of arrests there. You are a GP.
Yeah, I am.
And last time I had a Just Stop Oil person here, they had to justify the fact that they were stopping an ambulance from taking the quickest route to a hospital. How does that make you feel?
So I'm absolutely sick of hearing this. So we've now had a statement from the ambulance service saying that no ambulance has been delayed.
But we saw it on video.
So actually, we didn't see a blue light ambulance.
We did see a blue light ambulance, and I played it. That clip, you're the spokesperson.
Why are ambulance services saying that we're not delaying them? I've been on so many of these protests now, so many of these actions, and every time I see blue lights being let straight through, I'm there on the streets with doctors, with nurses, with paramedics who are out there with me doing this in civil resistance against our government, who are on a murderous rampage of new fossil fuel projects. It's ridiculous that you're spreading this absolute nonsense.
No,
we're doing this to protect
life. Not spreading the absolute nonsense.
No. So my job is to look after people and protect life.
Right.
And I'm absolutely clear on that. Everything we do.
But there are reported cases of people. There's a lady in Kent, for example, who did die in the back of an ambulance while she was held up.
So I don't know.
That happened.
I don't know where you get these reports from. I don't know where you're hearing this stuff from. So all I've ever seen, I'll show you my phone if you want. I've got a load of videos of ambulances being waved through. I do understand that. The paramedics actually thanking us as they go past.
Look, I do understand.
Whilst I'm stood there with other paramedics.
It is
absolutely... I don't know why you're spreading this nonsense.
No, I'm not spreading this nonsense. It is absolutely fair to say that there are loads of occasions, probably the overwhelming majority of occasions where an ambulance or a police or the fire trucks with the blues and twos on get let through by you guys. That's undeniable, and I want to make that clear. But at the same time, the last time I had a Just Stop Oil spokesperson on here, it was because he was on the day before that, and he said to me, we've got this blue light policy, we'll always get out of the way. I played him footage of the fact that they didn't, and he couldn't justify it. The thing that I would like to just move this conversation on slightly is the wasting of police time or the use of police time. Let's hear me out on this question first. So the police have come out and said that something like 7,500 extra police hours had to be dictated to you guys. We've got a knife crime epidemic, we've got a gun crime epidemic, a drug dealing epidemic, we've got people's houses being broken into. Is this really the best use of police's time? Because again, as a GP, if you've got a young lad who's been stabbed on the street, now the police are ungluing you as opposed to sticking his wound back together.
Well, I'm going to address that, but I'm also not ready to move on. I've got something else to say. So on that front, all the government has to do is agree to no new fossil fuel projects, and these protests will end.
It's a big ask.
They will end. No, it's not a big ask. It's what the UN is saying. It's what the International Energy is saying. It's what normal people are saying, to save money on bills, to give ourselves a right to a future. That's what we need to do. On the subject of health and harm to people, I've worked in parts of the world where people are dying right now, and you're worried about these stories that you've come up with about
I've not
ambulances
come up
being
with
delayed.
them. They're there. What do you think I do?
People
Sit
are
around on my
dying-
own and make these things
People
up?
are dying every day right now,
Okay.
and I've seen these people die, and you don't seem to be interested in that.
I am interested in it.
I don't know how you can justify that.
Well, no, I am interested in it. I'm interested in every single life. I'm also interested in who pays you.
Who pays me? Well, the NHS pay me to work.
Do you receive any money from Just Stop Oil?
Absolutely not.
'Cause
I'm going to work every day, working for the NHS and doing this completely in my own time,
the reason why I ask,
on my own money.
I get that, and that's very commendable of you because you back your cause, and that's great.
you.
The reason why I ask is over the weekend a story broke which did say that basically Just Stop Oil can pay for things like accommodation and maybe even a wage per protest. Do you have any idea where that money's coming from?
So one thing we hear is that we're all entitled middle-class people who...
No, I'm just wondering where that money comes from.
As soon as we say, well, if you want to do this essential work to try and prevent death right now and in the future, then you don't have to be out of pocket. You can
So who pays for
have
it?
some travel expenses. Donations, all sorts
From
of
who?
people. From me, sometimes. I donate my own money.
Is all of the donations made completely public? Because that's a massive issue that you guys seem to have with some of the groups.
So, it's outrageous. So we hear all the time how the Tufton Street think tanks are completely shadowy and unwilling to say where their huge donations come
so
from,
are you.
clearly from the fossil fuel industry. We have small donations from just normal people, and now you're casting doubt.
No,
on
I'm
that.
just
It's
asking if you
ridiculous.
know.
We do this on a shoestring. It's outrageous that you think that...
But realistically,
that this is
those
an issue.
donations could come from anyone, anywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd encourage your viewers to donate. Please do. I'd also encourage them to join us. Go to our website and join us. Get out on the streets and make this happen.
All right, thank you very much. I did enjoy our little back and forth there. And fair play to you for fighting the good fight, even if it does inconvenience people or whatever. There we go. Right, that was Patrick Hart, a spokesperson for Just Stop Oil, an activist and, of course, a GP as well. GBviews at gbnews.uk. Oh, relevantly...